Hey guys, welcome back to the Danny Bossa podcast. In this video, we're going to be discussing the potential ways to either help, improve, or even cure issues from concussion or other traumatic brain injury. So stay tuned for the final part 4 of my interview with Dave Lee. Hey guys, we are back with Dave Lee. So guys, by the way, if you've been enjoying these videos I've been doing with Dave, he's got quite a bit of content on the TRT and hormone optimization YouTube channel. That's the channel that I was doing a lot of content prior to starting this one. And he's going to be soon coming out with his own Dave Lee podcast. So make sure you keep an eye out on that one. All right. So Dave, one of the bigger causes of low testosterone levels that we've been noticing in the TRT and hormone optimization Facebook group, as well as even your advanced fundamental health Facebook group, and even the TRT in Australia Facebook group that you've become popular in, are guys talking about their past history where they've reported everything being fine up until they had a traumatic brain injury or a concussion. And apparently that's kind of when everything went south regarding their hormones. And I know that you spend quite a bit of time helping out guys with these issues. So what's your take on the subject? What do you do in regards to helping to either minimize their symptoms or potentially even curing them entirely?
Yeah, so the big thing with the TBI and concussion is obviously you got to go through all their symptoms, but the biggest thing I'll be looking at is, of course, you're looking at their testosterone levels, but it's really important to look at their thyroid, their pregnenolone, their DHEA, progesterone. You've kind of got to look at all the hormones. And then if all their hormones look good in serum, but they're still having issues that do sound like hormonal problems, because a lot of these guys do have psychological trauma as well, particularly if the PTSD is from, war or something like that. I'll sometimes order a Dutch test and do it side by side with the serum to see if that will show any kind of deficiencies that the serum's not picking up. I'll troubleshoot that. A lot of the time they benefit really well from anti-inflammatories as well that impact the brain, particularly stuff like CBD to reduce neural inflammation. So higher doses of CBD modulating the endocannabinoid system I find really helpful for PTSD as well as brain injuries. And then using other antioxidants like NAD for mitochondrial function. Glutathione can also really help out these guys with their mood as well because of the inflammatory state of the brain when it is inflamed and injured. But I'll also sometimes run a BPC protocol once we get the hormones dialed in, because the way I explain it to them is I say that, your brain is on fire and it's depressed at the same time because of this lack of neurosteroids regulating the environment. And they'll often say, yeah, I'm anxious and tired, but I'm also jacked up and stressed. It's like this wired and tired state where they're like, it's chaos in there because it's so inflamed. They're not producing the right neurotransmitters because of all the inflammation they're producing. These compounds that are going to make them respond to pleasure and happiness the way that they should. So they become anhedonic. They often remove from physical relationships and intimacy because they're too stressed out to actually be able to connect and pair bond and function sexually. So a lot of the time it's going, okay, we need to fix the endocrine environment first so we can go, okay, let's fix the foundation. Let's fix all the issues that could be going on. So get all the hormones right, replace anything that needs to be replaced, put the anti-inflammatory in if it's needed, and then also get them to do the work on, mindfulness, meditation, looking after their bodies. A lot of the time they have to get off all the psychiatric meds they were put on, getting themselves down to a respectable body fat percentage to reduce inflammation, getting the body to a point where it's we're moving in the right direction. And then once you've got that foundation stable, then you can go, okay, let's signal the body to heal. Let's do a BPC cycle. Let's do, maybe if they've got some money, do an intravenous stem cell infusion. Sometimes I'll use stuff like cerebrolysin, CMAX, C-Lank, which are other brain-related peptides. I'm really big on cerebrolysin after coming back from Lithuania, where it was used quite extensively over there. Using these compounds to go, okay, let's fix the foundation, and then now let's do whatever we can to heal. But as you know, if an organism is stressed, if you're stressed out, not looking after yourself, not sleeping properly, all that kind of stuff, your body can't heal. And all these peptides do, whether it's BPC or cerebrolysin or anything else, it's helping and telling your brain to heal. But if your brain is in a situation where it doesn't have the precursors it needs from nutrition, and it doesn't have the rest and digest sympathetic or parasympathetic nervous system activation, which is actually putting you into a mode where you can heal, if you're always on guard, always jacked up, which if pregnenolone, DHEA, and testosterone are low, cortisol goes through the sky, you're going to be in this state where you're constantly breaking down. You're still on edge. You're still at war. And this was a big thing that I came through after my head injury. Like, I'd spent 2 years, debilitatingly dizzy with vertigo. I could barely leave the house. I was constantly jacked up because anytime anything went through my peripheral vision, it would immediately make me turn my head, and then it would spin the world. So I would always be hypersensitive to things in my peripheral. And I was always, anything that came close to me, I'd jump a mile. Like, if I heard a sound during the night, I'd jump a mile. If someone touched me, I'd jump. Because I was always so jacked up, and because I was jacked up for years straight, when I tried to heal my body, when I tried to put in these healing compounds, they didn't do anything. It wasn't until I actually gave my body a big break, which I think the first time I had managed to do it was like a big dose of CBD oil, and I felt everything just calm and just stop, and just for the first time in years. And I think that experience can be really, really beneficial for brain injuries as well, just to have that in the evenings to go, and to be able to actually have breathing and rest and all that stuff that the body needs, big factor as well. So symptoms, fixing the foundation, and then rebuilding, and doing all those three things together, I find it's the way that you do it, but it's always different for each person depending on, where they're at, how they're feeling, and, it's all case by case.